Nostradamus, the local weatherman, Raven Baxter. What do all these people have in common, strugglers? Killer facial hair? Perhaps. But more importantly, they all predict the future! And I'd like to be added to that list. I have this awful thing that I can't turn off, no matter how hard I try, where my brain will run through every single possible scenario when I'm watching a TV show or a movie, in terms of like what the outcome is gonna be at the end. It doesn't even matter what the thing is. I could be watching Toy Story 2 and be like, okay, this dude gives me the willies, definitely bad guy. She's gonna end up killing Zurg 100%. I got a feeling Woody and this nice fella are gonna hook up by the end of the movie. I don't know. I feel kind of good about that. Most of the time I'm way off. All right, but sometimes I can be spooky accurate. What's the saying? Even a broken squirrel is right twice a nut, something like that. I love watching great shows, and if I had the time, I would watch everything that people suggest to me. But there's only so many hours in a day, 24, I think. So if we combine my lack of time to watch these great shows with my frankly otherworldly ability to make storyline predictions, I can essentially speed run my way through any series that I want. There are two shows that I've heard really good things about, but I've never really had enough interest to fully invest time into them. And those shows are How I Met Your Mother and Narcos. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'll watch just the first episode of each show, we'll go over them together, and then I'll make some predictions of how I think they're gonna end. Like at the end of the whole series, what the finale is gonna be. And then we will bring in the experts. My good friend Dominic is gonna grade my predictions on How I Met Your Mother, and freaking Mr. GG is gonna grade my predictions of Narcos. Now, unfortunately, it wouldn't be possible to make this video without some insane spoilers. So if you're watching either one of these shows and you don't want it ruined, you can still watch this video, but definitely skip over the parts where I'm talking to Dom and Gigi. Other than that, let's start off with one of the hottest sitcoms of the 2000s, How I Met Your Mother. New Struggletown University merch available right now, by the way. Go get yours and show your school spirit. It is homecoming week. Let's go struggle bugs, huh? Now, it would seem that a fairly important thing to figure out is, who is this mother? And how did they meet? I intend to get to the bottom of that. The whole show is meant to be this story that a dad is telling his two children. It's the story of how he met their mother. We're already off to a very good start. So this fella Ted is an architect in New York City. He lives with his friend Marshall, who is planning on proposing to his longtime girlfriend, Lily. Now I think you'll understand why I've had this New York City live stream going this whole time. Not very obvious that this is New York City though. Just kind of a couple of buildings and that's a bus. Could be any city. It's New York. That's where How I Met Your Mother is based. Anyway, that proposal thing doesn't make Ted feel too good because he's been dying to find his soulmate too, you know? And now he feels like he's starting to lose time. And that's contrasted by his friend Barney, who is completely adamant about not getting married. Barney is the guy that a lot of people that I knew in high school based their personalities around, and it was kind of annoying. He's obsessed with wearing suits. He literally will never stop talking about hooking up with women. He has these corny catchphrases that he always says.
Wait for it. Nide!
He comes off as a pretty self-centered dude with no regard for others, but I just know he's got a heart of gold in there somewhere. Anyway, back to Ted. He sees this woman at the bar and he's just smitten with her, right? He thinks she's attractive and fun to talk to, and they go on a date and they have a lot in common. Holy smokes, she's perfect.
I have found the future Mrs. Ted Mosby.
Okay, right, slow down there, cowboy. I have a feeling this is gonna be something that happens a lot with Ted just rushing into relationships willy-nilly. His friends are kind of playing both sides here. They push him to go after this girl, even so much as telling him that he needs to kiss her right away. But they also clown on him for, like, moving too fast.
I'm gonna go kiss her. Right now.
As your future lawyer, I'm gonna advise you that's freaking crazy.
Mixed signals, guys. Let's figure this out together as a team. They go with him to the woman's house, and before he goes inside to sweep her off her feet, he says,
"And you're the best man at our wedding. You give a speech. You're gonna tell this story."
I've never seen such obvious foreshadowing in all my days. Ted ends up blowing it by blurting out that he's in love with this girl that he just met. And when she asks him to leave, he goes on this diatribe about how much he doesn't want to be single anymore.
I'm done being single. I'm not good at it.
This man is a walking red flag. Am I crazy? At the very end, they cut back to the kids and Ted says,
"That, kids, is the true story of how I met your Aunt Robin."
Aunt Robin? I thought this was how you met Mom.
You thought you had me, didn't you? I saw right through this whole charade. You thought you had me. You think I really thought that Robin was the mom? Who do you think I am? Okay, with that being said, here are my predictions for how the show is going to end. I'm basing a lot of these on like tropes and cliches from other sitcoms that I've seen. And then some of them are just my spicy little takes. So we'll see how this goes. At first I was thinking like, maybe the mom dies or something. And that's why the dad is telling the kids this story. It's like, oh, let me tell you about how your mother and I met, just like as a way to reminisce. But that feels way too dark for like, I don't know, a silly sitcom like this. It's just too sad. It feels like something that somebody online would come up with like after the fact, you know? It just seems like that, like a made up fan theory. So I don't think that's what happens. I would say it's pretty obvious that the mother is somebody we haven't met yet, right? There are 9 seasons of this show, so I have a feeling that it's like we're gonna meet the mom maybe in season 2 or 3, and then she's gonna disappear for a while and then come back at the very end. And then the kids are gonna be like, what? That woman that you were talking about was mom the whole time? You know, something like that. I'm gonna go even deeper and say, I think it's gonna be something like the mom is a nurse and Ted gets into like some kind of embarrassing accident. He breaks his leg doing something. And she's the nurse that takes care of him. And they're gonna fall in love and go on some dates, but it's not gonna work out. And then she'll come back later. They'll meet at some event and get back together. Also, it seems like sitcoms love to make callbacks to the first episode of their show. So I do think that when Ted was in the taxi earlier and he said,
When you're the best man at our wedding, you give a speech, you're gonna tell this story.
At the end, we will be at Ted's wedding, and Marshall will bring up that story. It's too obvious, guys. And finally, my boldest prediction yet. Barney is 100% gonna get married at some point. He's so strongly against getting married. What a wasted opportunity for them to not have him change his mind and get married at some point. I think that he's gonna meet like a prostitute in Cabo or something. But that could be wrong. Anyway, those are my predictions. Let's check in with expert Dom and see how accurate I was. So here we are, we're with our expert Dom. This is my good buddy. He's a self-proclaimed expert on How I Met Your Mother. I would never use such ridiculous vocabulary to describe anything of myself, but he's very confident in his abilities to know this show.
Thank you for bringing me on to the channel, Scott. I gotta appreciate it. I gotta give you a little shout out and show the people what I'm working with here. I got the swim trunks on, baby.
Oh yeah, looking good. Me too?
You know how I do. You know how I do.
Yes, sir, looking good. Let me know, what do you think? What do you think about these predictions that I've set forth in front of you?
You had said that the mother is somebody we haven't met yet because there's 9 seasons of the show. Correct. You do not meet the mother for a very, very long time.
Okay.
But you guessed that she would be introduced in the first couple of seasons in. That is technically incorrect. Because she's never introduced fully as a person. So I don't want to give we're going to spoil the whole show,
right,
but I don't want to give too much away.
It's kind of hard to avoid.
Maybe they'd show like her ankle. Maybe like that was your mother's ankle. But you don't meet her until the very last season.
Okay.
You meet her, you find out her name, you get to see their life together and do things, and you get to see how perfect she is. She's the perfect person for Ted. She's got great charisma on screen. You can tell he's leading to something sad, and she passes away. She dies.
Dom, you're not gonna believe this. I specifically said earlier in the video, I think they're gonna make the mom die. Wait a second, no, that's definitely too sad for this show. So I scrapped it.
You nailed it. You should have kept it.
Oh no.
The whole point of of him telling his kids how he met his mother is for him to explain that he wants to now ask out Robin.
You can't be serious, Dom.
You had said something about, you guessed that she's a nurse or something? One of Ted's biggest relationship is actually with a dentist.
Oh.
So it's close there. You said Ted gets an embarrassing scooter accident. When he meets this girl, he actually has an embarrassing tattoo, and he's going to her to see if it can get removed.
Are you wait, I'm
tattoo.
sorry. We need to take a moment to address how incredible that guess is then.
That is really good. It's not the mother, but it is really good. Was it pretty easy to see that the first episode that was not how he'd meet the mother when he said like, and that was how I met your Aunt Robin.
Yeah.
Like very, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was, I knew for a fact, I was like, this is not the mom.
So the reason why I wanted to ask that first is because I see your last point on Barney. You had predicted that Barney is definitely getting married.
Yeah.
He does.
Are you kidding me,
and
bro?
he gets married to Robin.
Let's go! Victory lap, baby. Victory lap.
So not a prostitute to Robin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I was like really specific with some of these guesses, and it like makes me seem way more wrong. I feel so right now, though. This show, I gotta say, is a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. I was prepared for it to just be like the most basic sitcom. You could pop in, pop out. The storyline doesn't really matter type of thing.
It's an emotional show. It's really good.
Well, okay, so then all that being said, if you were to give me like an overall grade, maybe A through F, where do you think I would land on that?
Man, you actually did like, from a general standpoint, as much as I don't want to say you did good, I think I'm gonna have to give you like a C plus B minus, which is not bad.
C plus B minus, bro. I'll take the B minus.
That's
Thank
not
you
bad.
very much. I'll do a victory lap. Everybody, round of applause for Mr. Dom. Absolutely crushing it. Look at him. Look at, what a humble man. We'll move on to the next show. Well, that was better than expected, and also worse than expected. So I guess I'm impressed with myself. And also disappointed. Anyway, now it's time for a jarring shift in tone. I've got the snow going back here, because snow is also slang for cocaine. Let's go through episode 1 of the critically acclaimed Netflix series, Narcos, and make some very accurate predictions. Just like last time. Full disclosure, I had no idea what this show was about going into this. I figured it had something to do with narcotics. Just a hunch, though. And then when I start watching, I'm immediately hit with this screen that says it's inspired by true events, but also any similarities to certain stuff is entirely coincidental, so maybe it's not true. My mind is a whirlwind. Okay, a lot happens in this episode, so I'll just give you the highlights. The episode is narrated by this guy named Murphy. He works for the DEA, and his main focus is stopping the drugs coming into the US from Colombia. And in this case, it's cocaine, baby. Would it be way too outdated to make a Tiger Blood reference? Probably. Most of the episode is really fast-paced. They spend basically the entire time just getting us caught up on how the drug war started. And guys, you're never gonna believe this, the main protagonist, Pablo Escobar, like the actual guy from real life. Oh boy, that's gonna make this kind of difficult for me. I know a little bit about what actually happened in the Pablo Escobar storyline in real life, so do I use that information when I'm making my predictions? Or do I assume that the show took a lot of creative liberties and changed a bunch of stuff, and I guess different things? My mind is a whirlwind. Throughout the episode, we're introduced to a ton of people. The Ochoa brothers, Jose Gacha, the Lion, Pablo's cousin Gustavo, Pablo's wife Tata. The list goes on, but in my opinion, the only people that I think are gonna matter in the grand scheme of the story are Gacha and Tata. And they just so happen to rhyme. It's merely a coincidence. This man is a well-known actor. Right? So there's no way they're just going to have him playing some unimportant character, I assume. I think he's going to be pretty integral to the story later on. And I don't have a good feeling about Pablo's wife surviving all of this. So, I'll get to that in a minute. The very last line in the episode is Escobar, and he says,
Voy a pagar $500,000 por cabeza de agente de la DEA que se quiebre.
That does not bode well for our friend Murphy. So like I said, I'm a little torn on how close to reality this is actually going to be. They could definitely over-exaggerate a lot here, and I'm sure plenty of things that happened in the show did not happen in real life. So with that in mind and my fairly limited knowledge of Pablo Escobar, here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the main DEA guy, Murphy, is going to be at some point working very closely with Escobar himself. Maybe they meet up and, you know, he has to like, oh, you gotta give a little to get a little type of thing. Perhaps Escobar is cooperating with the DEA in order to so-and-so and yada yada. So I think they're gonna be kind of close at some point, is all I'm saying. And I think that's gonna lead to Escobar snapping one day and kidnapping Murphy's wife. And I gotta say it, I hate to say it, but there's no way that she survives this. Okay, rest in peace, baby. The next thing that I'm absolutely sure about is that Gacha is gonna turn on Escobar at some point, okay? Well, like I said, this guy, they're not gonna waste this actor. I think maybe he's gonna, you know, make a deal with the US government and be like, I'll give you information so long as you don't put me in prison, something like that. And then Escobar's gonna be like, snap again and freaking kill Gacha. But not only that, I think he's gonna make Pedro Pascal do it. Notice I didn't mention Pedro in any of this synopsis, because he's barely in the first episode. He's in all of the marketing. So I have to assume that Pedro is a part of this in some way, undercover DEA agent, maybe he's got to kill gotcha for Escobar, to not blow his cover. Also, I've seen plenty of other shows about plenty of other drug lords, all right? There's some crazy unhinged family member that is 100% going to show up at some point and ruin everything. I'm going to guess that it's going to be Escobar's brother-in-law, Tata's brother. He'll be put in charge of something and it's not going to go well. Things are going to blow up in his face and he's going to ruin a lot of stuff. And I think that might even result in Tata biting the dust. Finally, the boldest prediction of them all. I don't think Escobar's gonna die. I think he's gonna die in some explosion or something. They're gonna blow up a warehouse that he's in, and they'll be like, yep, that's the end of Escobar. But we'll see a shot of him like sitting at a pool or something with a drink in his hand at the end. Wink, you didn't get me. Something like that. Those are my predictions. Let's toss it over to our expert, Mr. Gigi, and see if I was even close.
You got really in depth about this.
I'm swinging for the fences, man. If I'm gonna be right, I'm gonna be right.
You went deep. You went deep, maybe even too deep for me. It's been a minute since I've seen Narcos.
I gotta say,
you.
Guys, Gigi, he's being a little coy here. He texted me, he said, I literally memorized the script of the entire series word for word. I'm an expert on the show. I know everything there is to know. And now he's pretending like he doesn't know anything about the show. He's being silly right now.
All I actually told Scott was that I like the soundtrack. I'm not sure about the story too much. Okay, so Murphy, yes, DEA guy, of course, will eventually be in direct contact with Escobar. Okay, so here's the thing. I think the most they do is get on calls with him at random times because there's situations, but they never work together.
Shoot.
They never actually cooperate on anything. I could be so wrong. The comments are gonna light me up for this. I'm the self-proclaimed expert, okay? It was at the bottom of my name when I came onto the screen. The DEA guy's wife, Murphy's wife, she does not die. She survives. Yeah, she's sent to United States. She's like, get out of here. You're not safe. Get the fuck out.
If I'm being honest, that was the one that I was almost fully certain was gonna happen. Now that you're telling me it didn't, I'm a little heartbroken, I'll be honest.
Okay, so Gotcha's the one where I struggle with. I do want to say, what a great fucking analysis by you. Just saying the actor, he's got to be utilized in some kind of twist, right?
Yes, he does.
Because he's that guy. He's that guy.
He's
Look
that
at him.
guy.
Look at his face. He's just totally that guy. So here's the thing. The guy who sells out Gotcha is a different dude named Navegante. I don't know if he was seen in part. He's this very pale-looking guy who's bald here. He's got like Krusty the Clown hair.
No, I never met him.
Okay. Okay. They end up murdering Gotcha. Sorry. I know you were looking forward to him doing something, but no, he just gets ambushed.
Well, he does die. He is killed.
He does die. Pedro Pascal does not kill him.
Okay, that was another swing for the fences, guess.
What else did you say? Some unhinged family member is eventually going to come in and cause problems. I'm guessing Escobar's brother-in-law. Escobar's brother-in-law is who?
I don't know. I never met. I just assumed someone would come in.
Are you just assuming he has a brother-in-law?
I'm assuming he does. Yeah, he's got a wife. I've seen Better Call Saul. I've seen Ozark. There's always some unhinged family member that comes in and causes problems. Are you telling me this didn't happen?
Tata, you said might even result in Tata's death. Mm-hmm. Tata doesn't die in the series.
Come, dang it!
Let me read your last sentence real quick. Escobar is going to die in some fiery explosion at the end, but he actually gets away. There's probably a shot of him drinking by the pool later on. Okay, so Pablo, he's obviously throughout the series he ends up going into hiding. He's hiding from the authorities because everyone wants to murder him. It's a sad life. And then they find his ass. He's shooting, guns blazing. He's on a rooftop. He's running. He gets popped, shot, and he actually dies. There's no hiding here anymore. There's no smoke and mirrors.
The death of Pablo.
He dies. There's no drinking by the pool later on. He is dead.
So, like, I'm literally completely wrong. So now I have to ask, is this is the real story of Pablo Escobar.
Okay, so this is exactly why I asked you when, in the beginning, I was like, do you know at all what Narcos is about? You said I know nothing about Narcos. So I was like, okay, I don't want to spoil it and be like, hey, if you're familiar with history, you might be able to kind of guess.
I gotta show the text because that's so funny. When the show started at the very beginning, a little text came on screen and it was like,
Okay, so you were like, oh, they're just going to go anywhere with it. So this is what I think they're going to do with this
Yes.
Pablo Escobar they're talking about.
Uh-huh.
You might have, I don't know if you got anything right, but at the same time, maybe you did because maybe I just misremembered things.
if I were to ask 100 people who are big Narcos fans, 99 would say, this is not correct. So then if you were to give me, A through F, a report card grade on my predictions,
You get a D+. plus.
a D+.
I think that's D+. plus. I'll give you the plus. So
I'll take the plus. Thank you to Mr. Gigi for helping out with this, for being the self-proclaimed expert. I would never throw around such terms. That would be reckless. Well, I think it's safe to say I'm never gonna do that again. I'm always so confident when I'm watching shows. Like I wrote the script. This humbled me, to say the least. I think I needed this. Anyway, thank you so much to Dom and Mr. Gigi for helping out with this one. You guys are the best. I briefly mentioned it before, but I do have new Struggletown University merch. There's some callbacks to old videos in there, and there's the struggle bug. I'm just really happy with it. I think they're great. So go pick up a crew neck if you want to show your school spirit. Like I said, it is homecoming week, so thank you to my patrons. Those listed here are in the top tier on there. Y'all, you know what? You're gonna get full ride scholarships to Struggletown University. I want to be clear on that. All right, thank you for watching and liking and subscribing, all that good stuff. I will talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye.